This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/Psychetruth.
Hi friends, it's Myra, and today I'm going to guide you through a nice yoga sequence that will give you a full body workout. We're going to do a well-rounded sequence that will target strength, flexibility, and balance to really achieve optimal health and well-being. I used yoga to lose weight and get in shape after having children. If you're looking to get your body back, this series is for you. So feel free to grab a block if you'd like, have one handy just in case you might want to use it during today's practice, and anything else you may want to have close by, water, towel, anything that will make you feel more ready to go. And as you're ready, let's go ahead and come on to our backs. So once you're on your back, try to relax your muscles and close your eyes if you feel comfortable and just notice what's going on. We're just going to get a starting point to monitor our progress as we go through our practice. Checking in with the physical body, doing a little scan from top to bottom. Notice if you're feeling any discomfort anywhere. Trying to remain objective, letting go of any attachment to emotions. And if you do feel emotions arise, then see if you can notice where you feel it in your body. If you're feeling any apprehension or any anxiety or even any joy, notice if it is in your body physically. If you feel it in your belly, in your chest, in the palms of your hands, maybe if you feel nervous. So we're trying to make that connection with our emotional and our physical state. And then after checking in with yourself physically, emotionally, trying to make that connection, turn your attention to your breath, your heartbeat, noticing the quality of your breath, the speed of your heartbeat, without trying to change anything. Notice if you are breathing through one nostril, or maybe you feel congested if you're breathing through your mouth. Notice that, and notice where your breath goes. If you feel it only in your chest, maybe you feel it all the way down into your belly. Can you feel your belly rise and fall as you breathe? And then let's gradually begin deepening our breath, slowing it down. Taking a nice full inhale through the nose, 4 or 5 seconds. Pausing at the top and then slowly exhaling out, maybe 5 or 6 seconds for your exhale, back out through the nose, slightly constricting your throat as you exhale for your Ujjayi breath. Nice deep diaphragmatic breath. Continue breathing like this. Another 4 cycles, inhaling through the nose. Pausing at the top and slowly exhaling back out through the nose. Maybe even letting it be audible. Let's take one more cycle of breath here. Deep inhale. And complete exhale. And then as you're ready, with your next inhale, reach your arms overhead, point your toes, get a nice long stretch. And then with your exhale, bend your knees, hug your thighs into your chest, reach your nose towards your knees. And then inhale, extend. This time let your arms and legs hover, maybe spread them out wide like a starfish. Exhale, crunch it in, as small as you can. Inhale, expand, arms and legs hovering, belly is crunching in. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. Let's do one more. Inhale, extend. And exhale, squeeze. Waking up the core right from the start. We're going to extend, and this time we're going to roll on to the side. And then you can use your arm to cradle your head here. Stack your legs, one foot on top of the other. And you can even use your hand, your free hand, to rest on the ground to give yourself a little more support. We're going to keep our feet stacked, and we're gonna lift our legs off the ground. So let them hover about an inch or two, and you're gonna find yourself kind of weeble wobbling side to side, which is great because that means you're working your core out now. So try to find your balance, maybe even let your hand hover off the ground if you had your hand supporting you. And then as you're ready, slowly reach your right leg forward and your left leg behind, or whichever leg's on top. Reach that leg forward and the bottom leg's gonna go back, and you're scissoring your legs open. And if you need to bring your hand to the ground for a little more support, feel free. Keep pulling your belly into your spine, really engage your core muscles here. And again, it gets harder if you have your hand off the ground. And then as you're ready, we're just gonna scissor our legs in the other direction. So the bottom leg's gonna forward and the top leg's gonna go back. Keep pulling your belly in, breathe, make sure you're breathing here. Just a couple of deep breaths. Challenge yourself if your hand's on the ground, see if you can lift it up, even if it's for just a few seconds. And then make yourself work for it. Make yourself struggle a little bit as you're here, because you really wanna get the most from this workout. And then as you're ready, come back to center, and we're just gonna switch over to the other side. So I'm gonna roll over, rolling over to the other side, and then again, let your hand cradle your head up. You can use your other hand to support yourself. Stack your feet one on top of the other and hover them off the ground, really pulling your belly in, engaging the core here. And then for a little more challenge, you can bring your hand off the ground. Keep breathing, get as long as you can from the heels all the way through the crown of your head. Really contracting your core muscles here, pulling the belly in, and then begin scissoring the top leg forward and the bottom leg's gonna go back. Again, see if you can bring your hand up, even if it's just for a little while. If you're gonna fall down, bring your hand back to the ground. And then as you're ready, switch the scissoring of your legs. The bottom leg goes forward, the top leg goes back. Breathe. Engage your core muscles. Challenge yourself here. And then as you're ready, come back. And from here, we're just gonna come onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. As you're ready, make sure your wrists are stacked under your shoulders and your fingers are spread out nice and wide with your index fingers parallel to the sides of the mat, and your knees are stacked under your hips. Your gaze is down at your mat so you can find extension through the back of the neck. Feel your neck as an extension of your spine, reaching the top of the head forward, and your tailbone is reaching back to find length. And then as you're ready, with your next inhale, push your tailbone up, then slowly curve the spine, drop the belly, lift the crown of the head for your cow pose. And as you exhale, tuck your belly in, rounding your spine to the opposite direction, chin to the chest for your cat pose. And then go ahead and take 4 more rounds of your own variation of cat and cow. Inhaling into your cow and exhale into your cat. Feel free to keep it organic if you want to circle your hips or wiggle side to side as you move through your cat and cow. And with every pose that we do, finding some ease and fluidity, finding your own variation, whatever feels good in your body, because we're all built differently and sometimes it doesn't look the same from one person to the next. So after you've done a total of 5 of your cat and cows, we're just going to bring our right hand or our left hand a little more towards the center and inhale the right arm up, twist and lift your gaze towards the ceiling. And with the exhale, bring your shoulder to the ground. Let your head rest on the ground. Thread the needle. And if you'd like, you can even extend your left arm overhead, palm down for a little more sensation. Or you could even bring your left hand behind the back and hook it at the crease of your right hip for a little more intensity here. Make sure your face and your neck and your shoulders are soft, and gently pry your shoulder back. Turn your heart open towards the ceiling. And just a few more deep breaths here, opening the shoulder or thread the needle. Again, notice if you have any tension or resistance in the body and just see if you can find a little more softness. And And then as you're ready, bring your left hand back to the ground if you had a bind. And we're going to inhale the right arm up, twist and lift your gaze. Exhale back to your tabletop position. Let's repeat the same thing on the other side. Bring your right hand a little towards the center and let's inhale the left arm up, twist, lift your gaze. Exhale to thread the needle, shoulder to the ground, with the option to bring your arm overhead, palm down, or you can take a bind behind the back. Hooking your right hand at the crease of the left hip, gently pry your shoulder open, heart turning towards the ceiling, breathing deeply here. Just a couple more cycles of breath. Letting go of the tension, resistance. We're not forcing anything. We're just letting go. And then as you're ready, bring your right hand to the ground if you had the bind. Inhale your left arm up, twist and lift your gaze. Exhale back to your tabletop position. And from here, let's tuck our toes under and lift our hips up and back into downward facing dog. Ease into your downward facing dog. Pedal one heel to the ground and then the other. Pushing down through the base knuckles of your fingers, keeping the weight out of the wrists. Drawing your chest closer to your thighs, your heels closer to the ground. And breathing deeply. Just a few more cycles of breath. And again, be curious in your downward facing dog. Maybe you want to walk your feet closer to your hands a little bit. Or maybe you want to walk your feet further back and just see how it feels in your body. Find the spot that feels the best in your body but still feels adequately challenging, but you feel supported. You don't feel unstable or unsteady. You're not afraid of getting injured, and that's the main thing, is like you don't want to be injured in any of your poses, so it's up to you to find out the best way to position your body. Let's take one more cycle of breath. Deep inhale and full exhale. And then as you're ready, come to your tiptoes. Lift your heels as high as you can, and we're going to tiptoe all the way to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. Let yourself be loose and heavy here like a rag doll. If you'd like, you can grab opposite elbows and you can gently sway side to side. Nod your head yes, shake it no. Make sure to keep a micro bend or even a deep bend in your knees. Don't lock your knees out here. And then as you're ready, with an inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift up halfway, pull your shoulders back away from the ears, lengthen the spine, and then with the exhale, fall down. We're going to put all of the weight to the feet, push down through the bottoms of the feet, and use ground force to slowly rise all the way to stand, one vertebrae at a time. So again, you want a little micro bend in the knees, slowly rising up. Keep your chin to your chest all the way till the end. Arms will sweep up, palms touch overhead, and with the exhale, lower your palms in front of your heart for Tadasana, mountain pose. In Tadasana, you want to make sure your feet are about hip distance or shoulder distance apart. Again, just a little guideline here. So see how that feels for you, and then push all four corners of your feet evenly into the ground. Feel steady, supported, and balanced. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Sometimes it helps to close the eyes to block out all of the external distractions so we can go a little deeper into our yoga practice. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes open if you need a little more stability here. Let's take one more cycle of breath. Nice slow inhale and full exhale. With your next inhale, sweep your arms up. Grab your left wrist, pull towards the ceiling, and then step your left foot outside of the right foot. We're going to take a curtsy bow over to the right. Turn your heart open towards the ceiling, and then pull your body towards the right so you're getting a nice stretch on the left side. And then inhale back to center, switch your grip, pull up. Exhale, let's curtsy bow to the left. Again, turn your heart open towards the ceiling, giving yourself a little pull to stretch out the right side. Inhale back to center, maybe a little back bend if it feels good. And as you exhale, swan dive and fold. All the way down. Inhale for your half lift, shoulders pull back away from the ears. Exhale, fold, plant your hands and step your feet to the back of the mat. Lower your knees to the ground if you'd like, or you can keep your knees up. If you have your knees down, you can cross your ankles and then rock your top of your head forward a little bit and slowly lower your body down, but keep your elbows over your wrists and hug your elbows in all the way. And then you can untuck your toes, forehead to the ground. Keep hugging your elbows in. With an inhale, lift the heart up. Push your toenails into the ground so much your kneecaps can lift up. And then again, pull the shoulders back so the neck is nice and long. Keep lifting. Keep pushing the backs of your feet into the ground for baby cobra. And as you're ready, exhale down. Another option when you take your vinyasa would be upward facing dog. For upward facing dog, you would straighten out your arms so your palms and the backs of your feet are on the ground and nothing else. So lifting the legs off the ground, lifting your heart, looking forward. And then to go into your downward facing dog, roll over your feet, push your hips up and back into downward facing dog. And breathe here. Take a total of 3 cycles of breath, nice and slow. Continue, again, drawing your chest towards the thighs, your heels towards the ground. Make sure your shoulders aren't crunching up to your ears, so keep your neck nice and long here, pushing down through the base knuckles of your fingers. 1 more cycle of breath, deep inhale, and full exhale. And then as you're ready, you can step, hop, or jump back to the top. If you want to hop, you can come to your tiptoes, crouch back, look forward, and then pull the belly in as lightly as you can. You hop to the top. Try to do it as lightly as you can. And then inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Slight bend in the knees, push down through the feet, root to rise all the way to stand. Arms sweep up, palms touch. Exhale, Tadasana. 2 more cycles of breath here. Again, standing steady and balanced, pressing evenly through the feet, lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, micro bend in the knees, shoulders are down, neck is nice and long. I know it seems like a lot, but I promise you the more often you practice, it'll all start clicking, it'll all start making sense, and then it becomes second nature. And then let's inhale, sweep the arms up, grab your left wrist, pull. Exhale, curtsy bow to the right, turn your heart open. Inhale to center, switch your grip, pull up. Exhale, curtsy bow left. Inhale to center, little back bend. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step your feet back. Again, you can lower your knees to the ground or you can stay in your plank and then take your chaturanga. Slowly exhale, keep hugging your elbows into the body and elbows are over the wrists. If you're taking upward facing dog, just go down halfway, roll over your feet, straighten your arms into your upward facing dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. So at any time, if you feel like it's too much for your shoulders to take these vinyasas, the chaturanga, the cobra, or the upward facing dog, you can always just push back to your child's pose or your downward facing dog at any time. And then slowly as you continue doing this, you're gonna build enough strength to be able to do a little more each time. Let's do it 1 more time as you're ready. Deep breath in, and then exhale, make your way back to the top. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, slowly fold. We're beginning to match our breath with our movement. Let's inhale all the way to stand, arms sweep up, palms touch, and then exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up, grab your wrist, pull. Exhale, curtsy bow right. Inhale to center, switch. Exhale, curtsy bow left. Inhale to center, maybe a back bend. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step your feet back. Roll through your vinyasa. That's one exhale, and then inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, guys. Sun A is our warm-up for the rest of our practice. Now, hopefully our body is feeling a little warmer, heart's beating a little faster. Now that we've picked up the pace a little bit. One more cycle of breath. And then as you're ready, let's make our way back to the top of the mat. You can step, hop, or jump. Let's inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now we're gonna bend the knees deeply, bring the chest to the thighs. With the inhale, both arms rise for chair pose. When you look down, make sure you still see your toes, and then sink your hips a little lower. Pull your belly in towards the spine and lift up through the heart. Your palms are either facing each other or the back of the room. Keep your gaze straight ahead of you. Focus, breathe, go a little deeper if you can. One more inhale and exhale. Bring your hands down. We're gonna step our left foot to the back of the mat and then lower our knee to the ground. You can scooch your right toes forward just a little bit. Thrust your hips forward, pull your belly in. And then for a moment, just come up, and you wanna make sure your right hip is not pulling up like this too much. Pull it back slightly, left hip forward. Keep pulling belly in, and now inhale both arms up for kneeling crescent lunge. So if you need a little padding under your left knee, you're welcome to grab a blanket or a towel, but ideally we don't have a lot of weight on that left knee, so push your toenails into the ground, the back of your left foot, so much your kneecap could lift off the ground. You want to keep that muscular engagement here, so keep pushing the back of your foot into the ground. That way you don't have pressure on your left knee. Let's take one more inhale. Lift towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your hands down and straighten out your right leg. Pull your right hip back slightly. Now this is where if you had two blocks, you can even keep your hands on your blocks to bring the ground a little closer to you. You can even play with the height of the block. And if you can't bring your hands to the ground, you don't have blocks, you can even stay here and just breathe. Wherever you can be, just breathe and let go with every exhale. So ideally, we want the inhale to lengthen the spine, pull the belly in. As we exhale, we want to slowly melt our heart down towards our leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, melt the heart down. One more cycle of breath. Inhale and exhale. All right, from here, we're gonna walk our hands forward. You're gonna bring your left hand inside of the right foot. If you wanna keep your left knee on the ground, you can. Otherwise, you can tuck your toes under and then lift the knee off the ground. Inhale the right arm up, Dragonfly Twist. Twist through the ribs, look up towards the ceiling, push away from the ground. Reach up. Let's do one more inhale. And then with the exhale, bring your right hand down inside of the right foot. Scoot your right foot more towards the right. Again, this is where you could lower your knee to the ground, or you can keep your knee on the ground if you lifted it up. You have the option here to keep that knee down to make it a little less intense, but if you want more intensity, you can keep your knee up. It's definitely more challenging as you do this. You can even come down to your elbows and breathe. And if you decide to try it out like this, good for you. If you need to come down at any point, please do. Always listen to your body's needs. There's no point in forcing yourself to go further than you're ready to go if it ends up in injury. So please be mindful. Let's take a couple more cycles of breath. Keep breathing. Make sure you keep your neck long, your shoulders are away from the ears. And then as you're ready, you can push your hands into the ground and then step your right foot back. You can take your vinyasa, or you can just push back into your downward facing dog. Just a couple of breaths here to reset in your downward facing dog. And remember, at any time you can take a break, you can go into child's pose, grab water. All right, and then as you're ready, make your way back to the top of the mat, step, hop, or jump. Inhale, lengthen the spine, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees deeply, bring your chest to your thighs. Inhale, arms rise for chair pose. When you're in your chair pose, you can either have your feet and your knees together, or you can keep them both about hip distance apart, whatever feels more comfortable to you. I like to have mine together, but make sure you can still see your toes and then sink your hips, pull the belly in, lift up through the heart, and breathe. You can play with your balance if you want to come to your tiptoes and then sink a little lower. Or you can drop your heels down, lift your toes up, and see how that feels. Again, be curious in your yoga practice. One more inhale, and then exhale. Bring your hands down. This time we're going to step the right foot back. Bring the knee down to the ground, scooch the left toes forward a little bit, and then rise up. Here you can bring your left hip back slightly, right hip forward, pull belly in. Inhale, both arms up for your kneeling crescent lunge. Again, use that blanket or a towel under your knee if you need to. Otherwise, push your right toenails into the ground so much your kneecap could lift off the ground. Keep breathing here. Even though this pose can look a little deceptive, it can look quite easy for someone who's watching, but when you're actually in it, you know that it can be quite challenging the longer you hold this. One more inhale. And then with your exhale, release your hands to the ground, straighten out your left leg. Again, use those blocks if you need them. If you have a couple of blocks handy, or books even, or anything you could rest your hands on if you can't quite reach the ground like this. But again, as we inhale, find length through the spine. And then as we exhale, melt your heart down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to melt. Let's do one more cycle. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring it down. And then as you're ready, walk your hands forward. Plant your right hand. You can tuck your right toes under, lift your knee off the ground if you'd like, or you can keep it down. And then inhale your left arm up. Dragonfly twist. Twist through the ribs to look up towards the ceiling and reach up, pushing away from the ground. Make sure your knee does not splay out like that. So you want your knee above your ankle. Let's take one more inhale. And then exhale, bring your left hand down inside of the left foot. Scoot your left foot over to the left a little more. And then again, if you want to drop your right knee to the ground at any time, you can. Otherwise, you can keep it up. And come down to your elbows or stay on your palms. And then breathe. Keep your neck long, shoulders down. Face is soft. Keep pulling your belly in just like you would be in a plank. One more cycle of breath. In lizard pose, we're really opening up the hips, but we're also working on our core strength. And then as you're ready, bring your hands to the ground. You can step your foot back, push into your downward facing dog, or take your vinyasa as you exhale. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just a few cycles of breath here to reset. Lift the leg as high as you can. Point your toes. And then as you exhale, bend your knee and bring your knee to your right elbow. Crunch it in, pull the belly in, hug it in tight, work those core muscles. Inhale back up and lift as high as you can. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose and arch your spine like you're in a cat pose. Inhale back up, lift, lift, lift. Exhale, bring your knee to your left elbow. Crunch it in, hold. And now kick your leg out to the side all the way. We're gonna inhale the left arm up into fallen star. Lift your hips as high as you can. Make sure your bones are stacked here. You want your shoulder over your wrists to protect yourself from injury. One more inhale, and then exhale. Sit your hips down. All right, we're gonna come into a wide-legged forward fold. So you want your legs open about 90 degrees, and then sit up nice and tall. As you inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Take 5 cycles of breath here. With each inhale, lengthen the spine. With each exhale, melt your heart down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. Keep your feet flexed. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. Breathe and release with every exhale. Couple more cycles. When we stay here a little bit longer and breathe, that's when we can get the biggest impact out of that pose. Our body has to start adjusting and acclimating and getting used to it. And that's when it starts to give. And then slowly walk your hands back. Now listen carefully. We're going to, just like how we were in Fallen Star, we're going to bring both of our hands back to the mat. But this time we're going to roll over to the other side. So now I'm on my left side and we're coming into a side plank. If you need a little support, you can bring the top foot in front of you and lift your hips as high as you can. If you think you can handle it, bring your feet stacked or even lift the top leg up, let it hover. Great job. Wherever you are, keep lifting, and then exhale into your plank. Inhale the right leg up, and then exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. Inhale, lift your arms up for your crescent lunge. Pull belly in, lift towards the ceiling. Shoulders are down, neck is nice and long. Take one more inhale, and then as you exhale, open your arms up in a T for Warrior Two. In your Warrior Two, you want to make sure your shoulders stay over your hips. You don't want to lean forward too much like that. Sometimes I see that in class. Keep just like you would be in your Tadasana when you're standing in your mountain pose. You want to keep your shoulders over your hips, belly is pulling in, shoulders are down, neck is long, arms are out in a T. Find a little bit of softness and a balance between effort and ease here. As you're ready, we're going to straighten our arms and legs. We're going to lift our arms up overhead. This is called Sky Archer Pose. Turn your heart open towards the ceiling. You can even turn your neck and look down, whatever feels better for you. Take a deep breath in. And then as you're ready, with an exhale, we're going to lunge back into the right knee, bring the right elbow to the knee. And then inhale, lift, and reach your left arm overhead for extended side angle. So you have a few different options here. An extended side angle. You can stay here. If you want, you can bring your hand down to a block or the ground. Keep turning your heart open. And the last option would be to take a bind. This doesn't happen overnight for most of us. Usually it takes a lot of practice before we can get to this bind, but if you continue to practice and work towards it, I promise you, if I can do it, if I can eventually get there, then I know you can too. So one more deep breath in, and then with your exhale, we're going to bring the left hand down. We're going to come to the toes of our left foot, and then again, listen carefully. We're going to put all of the weight into the right foot, and we're going to lift the left leg up, and the right arm will lift up. This is a revolved half moon pose. This is quite challenging. So again, if you need to use a block or something to support your left hand, if your hand doesn't come to the ground all the way, you can. But you want to turn your heart open towards the ceiling. Even here, lift the leg as high as you can. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bend both knees, but bring your left knee behind the right knee and let your left foot hover off the ground still. Bring your hands together in front of your heart and look forward. One-legged squat. It's quite intense. Working on balance, strength. You're working out your glute muscles. And then bring your hands to the ground. Lift your left leg back up in the air. Lift it as high as you can. Reach your chest towards your right leg. And now you can step your foot back. Both feet go back. You can take your vinyasa or you can go into your downward facing dog. Great job, guys. I know that was a lot, but I promise you, you're getting stronger as long as you're not giving up, as long as you're sticking with it. Just a couple of cycles of breath here. Just to reset. And then as you're ready, inhale your left leg up. Lift it as high as you can. Exhale, knee to your left elbow. Crunch it in, pull belly in. Inhale, lift, 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 lift. Exhale, knee to nose, arch your spine like you're in a cat pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to your right elbow, hold just for a moment, and then kick your left leg out to the right. We're gonna inhale, lift the right arm up, fallen star. Lift your hips as high as you can. Keep lifting. And then as you're ready, sit your bottom down. I'm gonna turn around to face you. Coming back to that wide-legged forward fold. Open your legs and flex your feet, sit nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. 5 deep breaths here. Again, this can be almost like a break, but it's not really because you're still working hard here. You're opening up the hips, working on your flexibility. With each inhale, lengthening the spine. With each exhale, melting your heart down. Crawl your fingers forward a little bit. Just see if you can go a little lower with your next exhale. And then slowly come back up as you're ready. So I was over here. I'm gonna turn and put my hands on the ground. I'm gonna tuck my right toes under. I'm gonna roll it back to face towards you, coming into my side plank. Now, again, you have the option to plant your top foot in front of you for a little more support. Lift those hips high, or you can stack, or you can hover that top leg. Lift, 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 and then come into your plank pose. Great job, guys. Inhale, lift. Lift your left leg, and then as you're ready, exhale, step it through. Pull belly in, inhale, lift your arms. Crescent lunge, lift, pull belly. Exhale, warrior 2. Once again, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Shoulders above your hips. Nice lunge in your left knee. Reaching in opposite directions, keeping softness in the face, the neck, and the shoulders. Now we're gonna inhale for that sky archer pose. Turn your heart open towards the ceiling. You can turn your neck to look down, or you can look up, whatever feels better. And then as you're ready, lunge back into your left leg and reach your right arm overhead. Turn your heart open, once again, towards the ceiling. Make sure your neck isn't dumping into your ear, into your shoulder. Make your neck nice and long here. You have the option to drop your hand down. You can grab a block, place your hand on a block like that. You can play with the height, or all the way to the ground, and then you can also take a bind. If you feel like your shoulders are warm enough and loose enough. And then whenever you're ready, we're gonna bring the right hand down, put all of the weight into your left foot, and then as you're ready, use a block if you need it. Once again, you can always use that block. Find your balance, and then lift your left arm and your right leg. Keep turning your heart towards the ceiling. Keep lifting. One more inhale, and then exhale. Bend both knees. Bring your right knee behind your left knee. Don't let your foot touch the ground yet. One-legged prayer. Squat, hands together in front of your heart. Feel that burn. I know I feel it. Work in the glutes. Work in the strength, the core strength, your balance. And then release the hands down. Lift your right leg back up as high as you can. Your chest coming towards your standing leg. Standing splits. And then step your feet back. Push into your downward facing dog, or take your vinyasa. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, everybody. Take a few more cycles of breath here in your downward facing dog. That was a bit of hard work that we did, and quite a bit of hard work, perhaps. But it's great because, again, this is what helps us get stronger and more resilient. When we put ourselves through some discomfort, it actually builds us. And then as you're ready, slowly bring your knees down to the ground. And then have a seat. We're coming all the way down to our backs now. So as you're ready, make yourself comfortable on your back. Not too comfortable because we still have a little more work to do. Make sure the soles of your feet are planted, and then scoot your heels close to your glutes. Your arms are alongside your body. Your fingertips are grazing the backs of your heels. And then we're going to take a bridge pose. Push into your feet and lift your hips up with your inhale. Lift them as high as you can. And then as you do this, scoot your shoulder blades closer together on your back. Keep lifting, keep pushing your feet into the ground. Perhaps you can take a bind or clasp your hands underneath your hips, pushing the palms together and your fists into the ground to give yourself a little more momentum as you lift your hips higher. Keep your face and your neck and your shoulders soft and breathe. And then as you're ready, you can slowly release back to the ground, one vertebrae at a time. And just take a pause here, take a breath or two. We're just gonna do this 2 more times. You have the option to repeat the bridge pose just like this, or you can make it a little more intense, and I'm gonna show you how. And then as you're ready, inhale, lift your hips as high as you can, lift, 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 and you're gonna scoot your left foot right towards the center, and then inhale, lift the right leg up, point your toes and reach your toes as close to the ceiling as you can. Scoot your shoulder blades together, push into your left foot, lift a little higher, keep breathing, engage your core, keep your face, your neck, and your shoulders soft, lift a little more, and then as you're ready, slowly exhale and release back down all the way, one vertebrae at a time. And take a little break, not too long though. We're gonna keep this momentum. Here we go. Inhale, lift back up into your bridge. Last time, scoot your right foot towards the center. If you're gonna lift your left leg, as you're ready, lift. Reach your toes towards the ceiling, scoot your shoulder blades a little closer, push into your right foot, lift a little higher, keep pointing and reaching. Face is soft, your neck and shoulders are soft, lift, and slowly release all the way down. Great job, guys. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees fall together in the center. You can bring your arms to the sides, and we're just gonna windshield wiper our legs side to side and release the back. Coming back to center. All right. So I'm gonna take you through what we call a plow pose. So you may want to watch at first just to make sure that you can know where you're going before you actually attempt it. So we're gonna come up into a shoulder stand and then slowly reach our feet overhead and back behind us. And then if you can, clasp your hands together and your palms pressed together, your fists are gonna push back into the ground. Your feet may not come all the way down, it's okay. They may still be up here. You can even have your hands on your lower back. When I started, I could come nowhere close to the ground. So again, if your feet are here, it's okay. Be easy on yourself. And then again, consistency pays off. The more you practice, the longer you stick with it, you will see results. You will see that you reap what you sow. So if you can come all the way here, this is where you would push your fists into the ground. Keep your neck nice and long. Make sure you don't turn your head while you're here. You could have neck injury if you try to turn your head. So breathe. And then whenever you're ready, slowly release back all the way down. Great job. Again, if you want to windshield wiper your legs, if that was quite intense for you, it can be a bit intense. So again, be gentle with yourself. Take care of yourself. And then we're going to slowly roll over to our backs. Coming back onto our hands and knees. We're just going to tuck our toes under and lift our hips up and back into our downward facing dog. I promise I'm not going to make you work too hard anymore. Lift your right leg up in the air And then as you exhale, bring your right knee under your right wrist. Your ankle comes under your left wrist. And then release your left leg to the ground. Just look back behind you. Make sure your left leg is even with the side edge of your mat. I'm going to sit nice and tall here. Lengthen the spine. And then if you would like, you can even lift the arms up as you inhale. And then with your exhale, slowly fold forward. Now, again, you may just come down to your elbows, or you may just be here, and that's totally fine. You may even want to use a block if this is a little intense for you. Otherwise, if you're able to, you can slowly come down to your elbows. You can breathe here. If you want to go down even deeper, you can come all the way down, forehead to the ground. Wherever you are, just make sure you're not holding on to resistance. Make sure you're not clenching or not holding your breath or clenching your muscles. You want to release and let go a little more with every exhale. Find a little more softness here. And I may have mentioned before, but Pigeon Pose, this is Pigeon Pose. It actually was one of my least favorite poses. It was really difficult for me because I was never flexible. My whole life, and my hips were really tight, and they still are pretty tight, but I actually love Pigeon now. It's one of my favorite poses because when I do it now, it's a reminder of how far I've come, I think, compared to where I was when I started. And it is a reminder of my own strength and resiliency. And, you know, I was inspired to become an instructor because I really want other people to also experience this empowerment from within when they can stay consistent, and when they decide to stick with it, even when it's hard. The payoff is so sweet, and it's worth every difficult moment. So as you're ready, you can press your palms into the ground, bend your left knee, reach back with your right foot and grab the back of your, reach back with your right hand and grab the back of your left foot. And then push your foot into your hand to open up your right shoulder. And you can even turn your head here side to side if it feels good, to loosen up the neck, open up the shoulder. You can roll your head. And then as you're ready, you can pull your foot in towards your glute to stretch out your quads. Keep pushing your palm into the ground, lengthening the spine as you do this, and breathe. And then gently release as you're ready. Make sure you don't slingshot your leg back. Roll over to your right hip, and then swing your left leg forward. We're coming into Janu Shavasana. So the sole of your right foot goes inside the left thigh. And then again, you're going to pull the left hip back slightly and the right hip forward. Lengthen the spine, inhale the arms up, and then as you exhale, slowly fold forward. Again, you may not be able to come here, you may be over here. Wherever you are, just gently fold forward. With every exhale, melt down a little more. Again, I could not touch my toes when I first started practicing yoga. That was in 2013. And then again, within a few months, I finally was able to touch my toes for the first time in my life without bending my knees. I feel like our yoga poses are almost like a metaphor for what we experience in life. Sometimes we go through difficult times and our body experiences fear. We hold back, we clench up, we tighten, we resist, we avoid, but sometimes the most fulfilling things that we experience, the sweetest rewards, come from willingness to keep going forward even when it's hard. And then it's called grit, I think. It's the willingness to not give up. And when we can have that quality, then I think that's really what makes life worth living. Slowly come back to your downward facing dog as you're ready. Pushing back up. We're just going to do all of that again on the other side. Inhale the left leg up. And exhale, bring your knee under your left wrist, your ankle under your right wrist. Check in with your right leg. Make sure it's even with the side of the mat. Inhale, lift your arms if you'd like. Extend and lengthen the spine. With the exhale, come down, either on your palms, forearms, or you can come all the way down, bringing your forehead to the ground. Just a few deep breaths here. Again, releasing the tension, the resistance in the body, letting it go. Surrendering to the forces of nature here. Finding some softness. And one thing I haven't really mentioned much of, but also be aware of your thoughts, your thought patterns. It's very important that we remember yoga is a mindfulness practice, and what we think about, where our thoughts take us, makes a big difference in what we get out of our yoga practice. So if you find yourself distracted thinking about your past or your future, you're really not getting the most out of your yoga practice. But it's okay, because it is a practice and no one is going to be perfect at it ever, I think. So we work on it. So that means noticing if you're distracted, and then bringing your attention back, even if it's over and over and over again. Just that practice of bringing your attention back to your breath, to the present moment, that's what matters. The more we do it, the more in control of our thought patterns we can become, and the more responsive we are to life instead of reactive. So we're in charge, not our emotions, if that makes sense. Let's take one more cycle of breath. Deep inhale and full exhale. And then as you're ready, push your palms into the ground. And we're going to bend the right knee, reach back with the left hand, grab the back of your foot and push your foot into your hand. Open up your shoulder, gently turn your head. No, you can nod it yes. You can roll out your ankle. Keep pushing your foot, open the shoulder. And then slowly draw your foot in towards your glutes. Keep pushing your hand into the ground to lengthen the spine. Nice little quad stretch here. And then as you're ready, slowly release. Coming to the left hip to swing the right leg forward. Again, going into Shavasana. The sole of the left foot inside the right thigh. Pull the right hip back slightly. Inhale, lengthen the spine, arms rise. Exhale, fold forward. Coming down as far as you can go. And then with each inhale, lengthening the spine. With each exhale, melting the heart down. Being aware of the breath. Being aware of your thought patterns. Being aware of any resistance, any clenching or holding back in your body. Trying to find a little bit of softness, even in the struggle. And then slowly rise up as you're ready. Bring the soles of your feet together. You can grab the backs of your feet. Sit up nice and tall into our Cobbler's pose, also called Baddha Konasana in Sanskrit. We're going to inhale to lengthen the spine, and as we exhale, gently bring your chest down towards your feet. Your elbows come out over your shins. And again, lengthening the spine with the inhales, melting the heart down with the exhales. Let's take one more cycle of breath. Great job. And slowly rise up as you're ready. And gently draw your knees back together. You can use your hands to help. We're just going to come down to our backs. Slowly making your way down all the way. And then we're going to scoot our hips a little bit to the left and lift the legs up, bend the knees, and we're just going to let the knees fall over to the right side. Your arms can come out in a T or a goalpost if you want to bend the elbows. And then if it feels comfortable in your neck, you can turn your head over your left shoulder. You can lift your knees up a little bit higher. Keep your knees bent if you want a little more intensity or sensation. And then once again, breathe, release, let go of the tension, the resistance. 3 more cycles of breath here. here, see if you can find more softness and be a little more present. And then as you're ready, you can come back to center slowly. You can shift your hips a little to the right. Lift your legs up, keep your knees bent, and let your knees fall over to the left. And then turn your head over your right shoulder, if it's okay, in your neck. And another 5 cycles of breath here. Letting go of resistance a little more with every exhale. Notice if your mind is wandering, and again, see if you can bring it back to the present moment, to your inhales and your exhales. It helps to close your eyes, to block out external distractions. You can just listen to my voice and let my voice guide you. To truly drop into your body a little more. Notice the sensation, notice how the twist feels in your spine. What's going on in your neck or your shoulders. And as you're ready, gently come back to center. And then again, if you want to windshield wiper your legs to reset your spine, if that was a little intense for you, you can reset. And then slowly extend your legs out to the corners of your mat. Feel free to take any final movements your body may need before we close our practice today. If you want to do anything additional, take your time. And as you are ready, you can bring your legs down straight, your arms alongside your body. Again, getting any little final wiggles and movements out of the body. And then close your eyes, let your eyes roll to the back of the head, let your tongue come away from the roof of the mouth, and take rest in Shavasana, our final resting pose. And then, as always, I encourage you to pause this video now and set a timer for 3 to 5 minutes at least, and give yourself enough time to dedicate to Shavasana, because it is often considered the most important yoga pose of all. This is what helps us integrate everything else that we just did and really helps it land a little deeper into our body. And then whenever you are ready, you can gently wiggle your fingers, your toes, letting the awareness gradually come back to the body. And then inhale to reach your arms overhead, point your toes, getting as long as you can, get a nice stretch. And then with the exhale, bend the knees and hug your thighs in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs, give yourself a hug. And slowly start rocking side to side until you find yourself all the way to the left or right side of your body. And then use your arm as a pillow under your head and just take a moment to pause on your side body and just take a moment to engage your senses and become aware of your surroundings. Notice how different you feel now compared to when you started. And then using the ground force to help you push into the ground and slowly rise back up to your seated cross-legged position. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you can take a little moment of the peace, the calmness, the clarity, whatever you experienced, and take it with you for the rest of today, maybe the rest of the week. And I hope that you can join me in my other videos. Have a wonderful rest of your day. The love and light in me bows to and honors the love and light in you. Namaste.
Many of our subscribers don't see our videos. Make sure that you click the notification bell. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration.
you.